sorts of different.
Inside the thigh, I wore these this weekend at church. And I had this, I carried it because I was wearing, this works with skirts or dresses. I mean, if you want to be wearing a dress that just barely covers your butt, that's your problem. I don't, but this is what I wear for anything formal. I chaperone a homeschool prom.
For somebody else.
This is what I wear.
They don't.
I got this at Henry Trading Post, and I know, like, it's kind of chintzy looking. I will tell you that each one of those will hold a little mini 22 with absolutely no concern. Completely supportive. You can replace the elastic, add elastic if you need to. I kind of bought this just as like a complete joke. They work. If you're wearing a skirt or a dress or something where you can't access a belly band and you have something small, I would have put a 1911 in this, obviously, but you'd have a hell of a time. But for a smaller compact or subcompact, these are actually really awesome. They're fun. They're fun besides, but some of this stuff is, yep, they've got the tank tops where you can slide in here on the side and you can put one of the, like something like this over it with leggings where you can still pull like this. It really is, and guys don't understand that. It is hard for women.
There's all kinds of options out
There
there.
really are, and you'd be surprised, like some of those like the goofiest like kind of dress up items, they really work. They're, as long as the elastic is strong, it'll hold something up like this with no problem. I can put one on each side, just like this right here, holds it up. No problem, as long as the elastic is good. I had bought this. And this didn't work for me just because it wasn't the right size, but some of them are super cute. All the different pockets where you can put extra magazines, you can put your phone, you can put your driver's license. Yep. And this one, depending on how you adjust it, you can hold it up higher or put it as far low, as you wanted. And then it's got cutouts in the back too, so you could completely all the way around have phone, driver's license, extra magazines. You can have a stun gun, a knife, a flashlight, just like a pleased utility belt, but cuter, And you don't have to get the cute ones. You can get just the solid black ones that have like zipper options and stuff. And they can go all the way from up here to, down here lower on your waist. Makes it easier for us a little bit because women's clothes are not made. Unless you wear a heavy-duty belt, women's clothes are not made to hold up firearms. Yeah, wintertime it's different. Yeah, summertime though, you wear shorts and a tank top. It's almost impossible to conceal. So
I've met men who say, I don't know, you shouldn't be carrying it in your pocket. I'm like, we don't get that.
Yeah, we don't have that
in the pocket for people and they give us pockets.
Yeah, for a chapstick or a lipstick.
My 2-year-old grandson gets two pockets in his onesie that snap at the crotch.
That's
I can't carry in a pocket, they don't get that.
These? Yes. They're little clip-on to like garter sets for women. And you can pull them up higher or have them down lower. You can get a small size one and put it lower on your calf. And they've got little ankle holsters that you can put on and slip your foot into like a boot or one of those like UGG slippers you could carry. Something this size with absolutely no problem. It's not going anywhere. They're kind of chintzy and maybe Halloweenish looking, but they really do hold up for $50. If you buy it and you wear it twice, well, those 2 days you got to be protected and kind of cute. Nobody gets to know it but you. It's special just for you.
I think it would be super fun to have an event where you have a bunch of options out there where we can just try out.
Well, you know, we do that. That's Women's Who Shoot, New Hampshire, Maine, and 83 of those. So that's what women's retreat. Can we talk about that?
Yeah. Before we do that, we'll draw for Andy's. So Andy, she couldn't be here, but she has very generously donated for the women attending. We're all entered to win a 3-hour one-on-one training session with Andy at your discretion whenever it would work out for you. So do all of the women in the room have a red and white ticket?
Okay.
If you don't have a red and white ticket, please ask Austin and she'll give you a red and white ticket. Women only. It is. We are easily keeping you guys out. Oh, yes.
Whoever doesn't have a red ticket, please make yourself.
I'll do that real quick and then you can.
So I think what I'm gonna do, instead of talking about shotgun so much, but rather about.
Who else needs a red ticket?
Oh no, I've said that mine somewhere. It is.
Alright, so are we gonna talk about, you gonna draw, are you gonna talk about?
Okay, so this is for the drawing for Amy. Get your little ticket out.
Red tickets for the ladies first.
Actually,
No, oh God.
one little guy.
You just gotta draw a ticket, hon. No pressure.
No pressure.
All right, 602286.
All right.
That's awesome.
Congratulations.
You guys all know about Andy Reardon O'Brien. She's a female instructor. She really caters to women and children in self-defense, not just firearms, but a lot of different self-defense in the home. And she is really good. She's
one of the best.
Best in the state of Maine. So she just won 3 hours with Andy.
Does she have like a place, an actual location?
You're gonna love it.
She has a company called East Coast School of Safety.
Okay, that's the one you were talking about.
Yeah, and annually, she has a women's retreat, and Denise and I both were at it, although I couldn't be there the day, I was there on Saturday, you came Sunday and did the shotgun down.
So Andy has started a Facebook group. It's New Hampshire, Women Who Shoot, New Hampshire, Maine, New Hampshire. And on this group, she talks a lot about different safety things and firearms and talks, kind of follow along what she's doing
She has
and
a
whatnot.
website with her products.
Right. So one of the things that she has put together, I think last year was the second or third year. Second year for it.
This year was the second. This summer, this just went by in July.
Right, okay. It's a Women Who Shoot retreat, and I was actually gonna wear my T-shirt today, but I did not.
Last year.
This year's is really cool. So anyway, so it was held at Jeff Zimba's place in Fairfield, and it was Friday night to Sunday afternoon, and the women that were involved in this were totally into shooting every type of firearm possible that could be produced there, starting with handguns, rifles, Jeff's cannon, just all kinds of stuff. It was
Launch, like a T-shirt.
Oh yeah, just all kinds of stuff. And then I came in Sunday morning after everyone had sore shoulders and could barely pick up a firearm, and we did shotguns. I brought a couple of clay traps with throwers with me, and we did shotgun stuff. But it was just a completely immersed, and that's the word I was looking for, into every type of firearm and gun safe handling, taking apart. They went to, I think they went to a gun shop.
They went to the gun shop down the road, and that guy, A&G,
Yeah,
they
and
showed him how to clean guns.
yes, and took guns apart and how to clean them, and most importantly, putting them back together without having pieces left over. And what's this piece do? Or this spring is supposed to go somewhere, whatever. So it's a great time, and it's an environment that is really conducive to women being comfortable and learning and being okay with saying, I don't think this one's for me. One of the things that I have learned over the years with doing instruction, and I've done instruction out of the 4-H, Bryant Pond 4-H camp with kids, as well as doing a lot with women. I did instruction at the Becoming an Outdoors Woman program for IF&W 1 year. Women learn differently. And the worst thing that a man can do is hand a woman or a child a shotgun, usually their 12 gauge, that was back from 1950, that was his grandfather's, and say, here, just pull the trigger.
Yep.
That will discourage any new shooter quicker than anything, okay? One of the biggest things that is important to success is the right fit. And since we're running low on time, I'm not gonna do my whole spiel, but simple things like a butt pad can make the difference between a good experience and a bad experience. Now, the firearm that I use a lot for new people is just a simple over and under, because that is the most basic firearm and simple for anyone to tell whether or not is loaded or unloaded, and that is the thing that scares people the most. How do I know it's loaded? An over and under, very simple. Break it open, two holes, it's either loaded or it's not loaded. Years ago, I worked with a woman with National Wild Turkey Federation. She was the head of their women's program. And we were getting ready to host an event at my place, and we were talking about it, and she said, you know, the thing that I have found over the years that convinces more women, because she was based out of Massachusetts, so it's dealt with more women that were, oh no, it's a gun, to learn about firearms was to say, if you were at a friend's house and your child came out with a firearm, would you know how to tell whether it was loaded or unloaded? And she said 9 times out of 10, that convinces a woman that they should educate themselves. And then once they get out on the range and are taught in a good environment with good fitting equipment, they realize this is fun. This is such an adrenaline rush to be able to see a target break into pieces, or better yet, dust it completely.
It's
It's a lot of fun, and it is very empowering. And then they go, this isn't that bad. One of the things that I see a lot too is that most of these firearms are too heavy for women. And then that causes them to lean back, and they're trying to brace themselves because the gun is too heavy. Now we know that a heavier firearm absorbs more recoil, but if you can't properly mount it, you're not gonna win. So those are just some things that really go into having a good positive experience. And for me, I've always, because I've come from a hunting background, and actually here in Maine, we really don't need rifles for most of our scenarios for deer hunting, because if you're hunting in the Maine woods, you might get a 60-yard shot, but most often the deer are right there and pretty close. So I've done, more with shotguns, and I think that it's something that is just less intimidating form of shooting for a lot of women, and